Hi, everyone. We are live. Welcome to episode 2 of Mice Bites, brought to you by Authentic Meetings and Incentives. I'm Natalie Horan, and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we come together for a 30-minute bite into mice-worthy product or experience. So today, we are joined with Maura Domínguez-Zhang, founder of Welldom, where she consults, creates, and curates wellness experiences for groups and events. So in the next 15 minutes, we will break down why wellness matters in the mice industry, what it actually means beyond spa treatments, and actionable ways to integrate wellness into your events. At the end, we'll finish up with a 10-minute Q&A, so drop your question in the comments. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Natalie, for this wonderful opportunity and for the great introduction. I really appreciate it. And hello, everyone, once again. Today, we're going to explore how wellness is redefining meetings, events, and incentive travel. My name is Maura Domínguez-Zhang, like Natalie mentioned, and I am the founder of Welldom. I am a certified wellness practitioner by the National Wellness Institute, as well as a certified yoga instructor, as registered with Yoga Alliance. And that involves a whole bunch of other modalities, including breathwork, meditation. I'm also a Reiki master, so there's a plethora of things that I am qualified to assist you with. And Welldom, we'll switch to the next slide. Welldom is an intentional, purpose-driven organization that I created a few years ago, dedicated to elevating the global events industry through holistic and inclusive wellness experiences. We're rooted in values of conscious connection, kindness, compassion with ourselves and others, and we specialize in consulting, designing, and curating authentic well-being solutions for meetings and incentive travel. I thought we would start with an arriving practice to kind of get centered and settled into this space. So everything that we're going to do today is an invitation. If I ask you, to participate, it is an invitation and completely up to you to either join in or even stop in the middle of the practice. This will be a very quick arriving practice based on somatic experiencing and yogic modalities. So just let's get started by taking a deep breath. And I invite you to sit comfortable with your feet flat on the floor. Take a deep inhale through the nose, filling the lungs. And exhale slowly through the mouth, releasing any tension. Focus on the sensation of your breath and foster internal awareness at this moment. Continue taking a deep inhale through the nose, exhale slowly through the mouth. And now you can bring your hands together if you wish for a more sensory experience, and just kind of rub your hands, noticing the texture, temperature. Just notice any sensations, see how that feels. We're connecting to the mind and body and promoting a sense of presence with this movement. And now familiarize yourself with your surroundings. Maybe observe any colors or shapes, an object that might help you feel grounded and present in this moment. And now take a deep breath and exhale. Let it go. So why does wellness matter? Why is this important? As you can see, 89% of travelers prioritize wellness when booking experiences. This is a stat by the Global Wellness Institute. Booking wellness events or wellness experiences boosts engagement, satisfaction, retention, and lowers employee absenteeism, improved engagement, higher job satisfaction, and a bunch of other benefits, which I kind of group together and I call ROW, return on wellness. So focusing on this part of your program is actually very beneficial for engagement. There are certain foundations in wellness integration and wellness design. So we're going to put people first, a human-centric approach, align intention with action. There's a saying that, the road to hell was built with good intentions, right? So just keep that in mind, that you have to align that objective of the meeting, that objective of the incentive and what you're trying to achieve with the action that you're actually taking to keep people safe, keep people engaged, foster that sense of belonging, and empower people with choices. Our wellness is very personal. Empower attendees to choose what they need, offer a menu of activities on various different levels, from like high energy events and fitness classes to maybe more mindful, silent retreats during the event. So people feel empowered and, part of this wellness journey that you're creating. So going into trends, we have 8 trends, and I hope we can get through all of them in detail. But if anything, we can always share this presentation. And the number one trend, and all of these trends are kind of based on inspiration from other industries as well as our own. There are data from the site, IRF, IMEX indexes, as well as studies from the Global Wellness Institute and others. So all of this is backed by science and data, that these are the kind of some of the trends that are driving the wellness and events today. So the first is the personalized, self-empowered, and data-driven wellness. For example, event apps might poll attendees on their wellness interests prior to the event, so you can curate session recommendations. Incentive trips can also include like wearable fitness trackers, wellness apps that give participants customized health insights during the trip. So it's kind of like a choose your own wellness approach that increases impact and engagement for these activities. There's a lot of contradiction onto whether, bringing tech into the wellness field is actually a wellness mindful moment, but there are so many benefits to using apps for relaxation and meditation, especially like if you are on a budget and you need to incorporate certain elements into the event, and this is an easy, cost-effective way to do it. It's also a great way to get participants engaged by using these apps throughout the program. There's actually an example of a financial services company that hosted a sales incentive trip, allowing attendees to fill out a wellness profile beforehand. And based on the responses, each guest received a custom itinerary. So, certain people got like sunrise hikes if they were early risers. Yoga enthusiasts got dedicated sessions. Those needing a little bit more rest got some spa time. And the results were that participants felt seen, cared as individuals, and great reviews at the end of the program. So those are some easy ways to get ahead of the curve and incorporate these trends. Trend number 2. So this kind of goes in complete contradiction of what we were just saying of involving tech, but this is a huge trend of unplugging and play and digital detox, which is actually being more driven by the younger generation, trying to get in touch with those nostalgic, things which maybe for some younger generations, it's not so nostalgic, but something new for them as well, like playing board games, becoming part of a club, a craft club, hobbies clubs, things like that. And these are things that we can incorporate into our incentive and events. There's a big drive for digital detox, like I said, and actually global searches for digital detox retreats increased by 50% in 2024. And there's this term going around calling it JOLO, or the joy of logging off. So these are things that to take into account when creating maybe phone-free zones during an event, tech-free team activities, moments of silence or digital silence, creating like lounges where people can unplug and get refreshed and those types of things. It actually increases well-being, better focus. A retreat center report actually showed that after a short device-free retreat, teams had better conversations, stronger bonds, returning to work more focused. Even a 5 to 15-minute phone drop break in a meeting where everyone sets aside devices can reset minds. The science is constant, the science is clear that like having constant notifications keep our brains in fight or flight mode, and a planned detox offers a reset that can significantly improve mental health and creative thinking during events. And one thing to keep in mind is to maybe inform attendees in advance, so the idea of disconnecting is welcome and not a surprise, and not feeling like something they have to do or a punishment. That actually happened to me when I went to a Madonna concert years ago, and I was informed that I had to turn in my phone at the entrance, which I had no idea about, and I was very upset about it. But, so if you know in advance, you can prepare for it. Because obviously a little healthy detox from our devices is very good for us. Oh, I forgot to mention some of these photos that we have here are like events and activations that we've done. So for instance, the one on the top left is it's a new concept that we created last year called the Sporty and Social Club. And this is in part with my other business, which is Synergy Destinations. We represent CVBs, and we host client events for these destinations. And we kind of came up with an idea to learn something new, connect people through these social, mobility, fun engagements. And we hosted a pickleball workshop. Last week, we actually hosted one in San Francisco with a padel workshop, and it was very well received. So these kinds of, play and incorporation into these types of events, even for suppliers, it doesn't mean only for meeting planners, are very good little tidbits to include. The bottom left there is actually an activation we did at IMX a couple years ago when we were managing the Curacao booth, and it's actually stacked yoga blocks to form like a human Jenga, human-sized Jenga with trivia. And so it was really fun. It connected people to the destination, to ideas of well-being and things like that. So these are just some of the ideas and things that we work with. Trend number 3. Mental resilience and emotional well-being. This is huge. And I think some of the stigma behind it is actually, kind of coming off, and people are getting more comfortable with addressing these things during events, addressing it prior to post the events, and making sure that our attendees are feeling connected, feeling safe in our environments. Burnout and stress are at an all-time high. There are several stats that state that nearly 44% of employees say they feel burnt out at work. 82% of white-collar employees feel burnt out, and about 50% of those say it's due to like long hours and kind of like that need for that digital detox and digital disconnection. So that also supports that initiative. This is the fastest growing wellness sector globally, so it is something that we need. Special attention should be paid to all genders and all communities and everyone who's participating. Historically, not everyone has felt very comfortable with mental health activities or mental health awareness or, speaking out about it. And I point out that men in particular can be less likely to engage due to stigma. And it's just kind of like a cultural thing. Males are 30% less likely to seek treatment for mental health issues than females. So, kind of framing the idea of mental wellness into like maybe a mental strength session where, it's just positioned in a different context might actually help with more participation, more openness, maybe kicking off with an arriving practice like we just did, a short breathing exercise for your general session, offering breakout sessions on topics like building resilience, work-life balance, or coping with life changes that we're all dealing with. So I'm actually hosting an immersive workshop at the Psych Global Conference next week. And if you're attending, please come. It is on the last day, and it is about building resilience and using your body's own wisdom and all your resources, internal and external resources that you have in your access to be able to kind of like regulate your nervous system and just different tools for that. So hope to see you there. Trend number 4, regenerative and nature-based incentives. So, nature is a no-brainer that it is, the kind of like the source of all well-being. So nature-based activities like forest bathing, walks, beach yoga, being built into programs are a great idea because you can tangibly feel the improvements on well-being. Scientific research actually supports that forest environments can lower cortisol, that's the stress hormone, blood pressure, and anxiety levels. So there's a lot of benefits to it. There's a key kind of evolution that's happening and moving beyond sustainable to regenerative travel. And this means that incentive trips aren't just a low impact, they are actively improving the destinations and communities involved. So travelers want to feel good about leaving the places that they visit in better shape than they found them. So that's a great trend to follow, with CSR programs that can be incorporated. Another one is rewilding, and rewilding is kind of just reconnecting with nature. Rewilding expeditions, especially like digital detox programs, where people are learning basic, foundations like building fires, navigating with an actual paper map. Those kinds of things are very welcome to incorporate. And like I said, even the younger generation is looking for this kind of like more tangible, less scrolling and more making and hands-on activities. Maybe when starting to plan a program, like ask yourself, how can nature be my co-facilitator at the event? How can it be like my co-partner, my planner? And maybe it's as simple as scheduling like outdoor meetings, getting some fresh air, incorporating a local ritual or things like that. So trend number 5, movement as medicine, weaving movement throughout the day. Small bouts of physical activity that are treated as medicine to keep energy high and minds sharp. Research shows that even a 20-minute walk can improve brain performance and mood. In the world's longevity hotspots called the Blue Zones, which I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Netflix documentary. If you haven't seen it, the great one. People don't exercise in gyms, technically. They naturally move throughout their day as part of like their daily routines. And so think about that when planning an agenda for a meeting or an event. Planners are also introducing more holistic movement that emphasizes functional flexibility, stress relief, more like longevity focused movement. I've actually facilitated some fun morning walks. I actually did that for one of the exchange programs that was in Curacao. So there's a lot of this kind of like social activity that can take place as well. Incorporate local culture through movement, maybe even, for instance, if you're having an event in, let's say, Brazil, maybe a samba, Zumba lesson, things that people feel better learning, that can improve their attention span and create positive memories and while having fun at the event. Trend number 6, multisensory, immersive, and wellness design. We're almost getting there, guys. So paying attention not just to what is on the agenda, but how the environment feels to attendee senses. So multisensory design means crafting spaces that promote calm, focus, positive emotions through the use of light, sound, scent, touch. For instance, lighting is being adjusted to follow circadian rhythms, maybe bright and those more blue tone lights in the morning sessions to stimulate alertness, softer and warmer lights in the evening to encourage that like natural wind down in body's clock. These cycles actually improve mood, productivity, and even immune function. There's a biophilic design, which is bringing nature into the space and integrating natural elements like live plants, green walls, water features, nature-inspired materials, even like bringing in nature sounds, the aromatherapy into the room, and obviously being mindful that, some people might be sensitive to that, and being inclusive when it comes to that. We actually, a few years ago, there was a report that was promoted or published by IMEX and talked about this biophilic design. And it mentioned that people are 20% more likely to stop at your booth at IMEX or another trade show if there is greenery or that, natural element to it. So there you go. Obviously, sleep is a foundation to all health. So making sure that attendees are, well equipped for a normal sleep cycle is important. And trend number 7, clean eating and alcohol-free options. And this is like, it's like music to my ears. I am like a planner's worst nightmare when it comes to dietary restrictions and all of those things. And so it's like it's so refreshing to see that this is actually being incorporated into more and more events that I am attending. Wellness-centric events that feature lighter, nutritious, more clean food options, meaning like simple ingredients that are clearly labeled and accommodate, multiple dietary needs is just imperative. It's not just like a nice to have anymore, it's a must. Accommodating, like gluten-free, vegan, allergy. And one important thing that I just mentioned is to keep in mind that everything should be clearly labeled. And that's how people know that they're being included. Sometimes people don't even know you could be doing a great job at including these things, and it's not well promoted. And then the alcohol-free options. There's actually de-alcoholized wine, where the wine actually, it goes through the same process as like any wine making, and then they remove the alcohol, and so you're still having the same product. So offering options, I'm not saying don't offer alcoholic beverages, offer options for everybody, and maybe more healthy options like, for instance, we actually did an activation, that's the one you see there in the pictures, that where we always align ourselves with like sponsorships that align with our values. And so we always try to bring in this like health and wellness element into everything that we do. And one activation that we did was a kombucha tasting and education event at one trade show. And it was super welcome. Most people had not even tried kombucha before, and they were just curious. We made mocktails with them. And so, just as simple as something like that is just a great way to integrate that. Okay, getting to almost the end here. And so trend number 8, inclusivity in wellness, and the social aspect of it, the social wellness, communal self-care, cultural healing practices. This is becoming huge. There's more attention being paid to like respecting the culture, honoring those indigenous and native practices of the destinations that we visit, offering diverse offerings and to meet diverse needs is imperative. An event that recognizes that attendees are diverse across ages, abilities, cultures, comfort levels is going to be a more successful event. To maximize impact, we can ensure wellness activities are inclusive and accessible to everyone. Fitness can be, with modifications for different abilities. Maybe there's different tracks, also for different ages. We need to be inclusive of, there's Gen Z and then there's boomers as well attending our events, and the gamut, the whole range. So, and it's not just about physical abilities, but, what can we do to learn from each other and to socially connect and engage these, and bridge the gap between these generations. There's also there should be an awareness of neurodiversity and inclusion of neurodivergent individuals who, just think differently than maybe the standard. And so, for example, conferences that offer like low sensory zones, like events that are, taking into account these different abilities are going to be more inclusive. Events that bridge the generation gaps, like I said. And there's also there's companies that are now doing like reverse mentoring, where Gen Z is mentoring the boomers or the older generations, and getting a lot out of it. As far as social wellness, you can see here there's like a sauna craze or a sauna culture that's happening right now, and saunas are becoming super popular. And it's like this aspect of social, this need for social connection, and it can be also a replacement for like traditional evening events or traditional nightlife and things like that. So this is a great way to incorporate it. And can you imagine also maybe having one of these local cultural immersions, like being in a cave and having a sound bath and being incorporated into that? Well, actually, you don't have to imagine it, because I have a video for you. So this is an event that was hosted by in Dominican Republic, and partnered to do sound bath in a cave, and it was absolutely like magical, and as you can imagine, like amazing. So this is something that can be easily incorporated with somebody local in the destination. And this is just a funny picture, you guys. The general meeting for this company that organizes these like communal sauna events was literally in the sauna. So that's, just get some ideas from that. And, wellness is here to stay. And I don't like to say trends, because I like to think of it as a trait for transformation. And it's a must have, not a nice to have. And it should be part of like the DNA of building any incentive meeting program. So there you have it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Maura. I was taking notes the whole time. There were so many things that I loved. I love the joy of logging off, JOLO,
Yep.
and the mental strength sessions. That's such a good way to sneak it into there with the guys. So so many good tips. Seriously, I want to go back and listen to it again and take more notes. So thank you.
Thank you.
And don't leave, everybody, because we're going to finish off with a meditation before you go. But I just wanted to put it out there that next week we are skipping My Spites because most of us are going to be in Tulum for Site Global. But we will be back March 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern with episode 3 with Rosie Haywood of Casual Representation. So thank you so much. And now Maura is going to leave us off with a meditation.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for your time. And just to kind of like get you back into your day, get us back into some grounding, we'll just close with a very brief meditation, some breath work, and attention to the present moment. So find a comfortable seated position. Make any adjustments you need where you are. Place your feet flat on the floor, maybe hands resting on your lap. Close your eyes or soften your gaze, whichever feels more comfortable for you. And take a few deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, allowing the body to relax with each exhale. Take one more. Maybe let out a sigh. Let it all go. And now direct your attention to the sensation of your feet making contact with the ground. Notice the support of the chair beneath you, feeling the connection and stability that it provides, feeling safe and secure. Observe any areas of tension or ease in your body. Acknowledge that nothing needs to change. Just notice. And now shift the focus to the natural rhythm of your breath. Observe the inhale and the exhale without altering it. Notice the rise and fall of the chest. Notice the sensation of the air passing through the nostrils. And if the mind wanders, gently guide it back to your breath, using the breath as the anchor for the present moment. Now taking one deep breath, bringing your awareness back to the space, to the room. Wiggle your fingers, maybe wiggle the toes. Gently bring in awareness back to your body. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes and carry this sense of grounding and presence with you as you transition to your next endeavor. Thank you.